Who shall I tell you? Ala al-Aswani is probably going to join, Bilal Fadl will join, and so on. I mean, names don't mean anything now. Just you know that most of the emerging forces have all almost the same platform. Some are more on the left, some are more on the right, but they all have the same platform, they all have the same vision of Egypt as a civil, democratic, modern state.
All right, questions? We have so many. I think we'll do two at a time. Is that okay for you if we do two at a time? We'll take these two individuals here. First,
if I have a pen.
Yes.
Thanks.
And would you like an extra piece of paper?
Yeah. If you have.
If you could say your name and.
Gregory Hamilton. I'd like to know your thoughts on the implications and the motivations for the recent diplomatic and commercial rapprochement with Tehran.
I'm one of the people who support that. I know that it's causing the antennas in America are like that. But the idea is that, you know, for the past years, they have always made us believe that the real enemy is Iran. Iran is very further away, you know. Some people don't even know where it is. The Shia danger, the Shia problem and all this doesn't mean much for the Egyptians. Egyptians are Sunnis. They have only heard about this Shia problem lately. I particularly see that Iran is a big civilization like Egypt. I don't think that it is in Egypt's interest to antagonize Iran. I don't mean that we have to have friendly relations with Ahmadinejad, but yesterday I was giving a lecture in Richmond, Virginia. There were some Iranians, and their question was, why did you succeed and we didn't in our street revolution, yet we started before you? So Iranians are looking at Egypt, very much so, and when Khamenei came up the second day of the revolution saying, Islam has won, the revolution has won, I answered him on TV and I said, no, you have not won, but what you will see is that probably Egypt will export democracy to Iran. So that's why we hope that Egypt will really become a model. But you needn't fear here. I don't know why you are fearful here. The people who are fearful are Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is causing much more trouble in Egypt than Iran. That I can tell you. And Saudi Arabia is financing the Salafists. Saudi Arabia is financing, you know, people who are talking out of their head in the mosques. So I don't think that Saudi Arabia has a role, a good role, a positive role. Whereas Iran is playing politics, really. It's not playing advocacy and that sort of thing that goes to the simple people, and that's why it's so dangerous. But Iran's influence is mostly in politics, you know. That's it. I mean, they are, of course, helping Hamas, they're helping, but we don't have that sort of groups in Egypt for them to help. They would like to.
Jim Plack, Cambridge Energy Research. First of all, thank you very much for that very comprehensive presentation. How do you see the transition being accomplished under the revised constitution that you described, under a new government to be elected this fall, to a more comprehensive and complete democratic system that I think you've indicated still is yet to take shape?
We don't want a revised constitution. We want a new constitution. And now we are hoping that we can still put pressure because they have refused to have a new constitution. As you know, they had the amendments, but I don't think that the constitution will take a year, as they say. I have asked many judges. They say that it could take a month or a month and a half. Constitutions are all the same in the whole world. So what you have to do is just to adapt it to your country. And then we have two excellent constitutions, 1923, which saw the liberal period of Egypt between 1919 and 1952. And we have the 1954 constitution, which was refused by the military regime, but which is an excellent constitution. You have to put it up to date. That's it. And to have what we always wanted, a separation of powers, just as you have here, and checks and balance. And in particular, the issue of citizenship. Once we have this, with respect for the Convention of Human Rights, I don't think we'll have much of a problem. We hope.
William Zarpin Seiss. Two questions. First of all, is the peace process dead or dormant? And second of all, you talked about a liberal platform and then a moderate Muslim party. Are those two the same thing? Can they be united together into one party, or are they separate and competing?
The peace process is certainly not dead. And the rumors here that the new government or the new Egypt will have second thoughts about the peace process with Israel is a complete distortion of the facts. Egypt has never broken any international covenant that it has signed, and it certainly won't break it now. Number two, I don't think that there is any youth today, whether it is in Egypt or in Israel, that want to go to war. Everybody's looking forward, everybody's looking with hope, they want their countries to advance. That's one. The difference will be in the mindset. The mindset will mean that if there is a peace agreement, it's made between two parties. The two parties must respect the agreement. That's it. If you see that Israel has respected the agreement, then it will go on. But we see that it has not respected the agreement, and it should be made to realize that there is a new Egypt today, a new democratic Egypt, not a new hostile Egypt towards Israel, not an Egypt that is antagonistic to Israel, but demands that it should respect the agreement just as the Egyptians have. About the parties, this is my view of it, that no party can be without some Muslim element, not Islamic, Muslim element. And I believe that the young Ikhwan can bring this because, as I said, I might be wrong, but from what I saw from them, I saw many of them, they seem to be more tolerant, more forward-looking, more, like youngsters everywhere. They don't have these radical statements that a woman cannot be a president or a Christian cannot be a president. They seem to refuse this. Second thing, they are rebelling against their elders. Their elders have prevented them from having a conference. They went about having it. They have prevented them from joining other parties, but the new Muslim Brotherhood Party, which Justice and Freedom, I think it is called, they have said, no, we are free. So there is an element of a generational rebellion that you will find in all the old parties, all of them, whether it's the Wafd, the left, the Nasserist, all of them. There's a new generation that refuses the dogma of their elders.
Some questions from the overflow room. Question about women. Do you believe that among the leaders of the liberal democratic movements there is both sufficient interest and ability to ensure the role of women in the new Egyptian government? One question. And then a question about the emergency laws. Why do they continue?
Can I have them? So, about women. Good for you to bring up that, because we think that women have been sidelined by the revolution. We don't understand why.